It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, guy next door.
Me, DK. Pew, 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 pew.
And me, fan.
Bring you your semi-regular double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. Hello, gentlemen. Nice to see you. Good to see you. How you doing?
I mean,
Doing good.
yeah, it's weird. Like, I think the whole show managed to play lasers this week, which is a
Yeah.
very unusual occurrence.
We might talk
Crazy.
about it too. We might
You
talk
think
about
so?
it. Yeah, a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about it. Hello to you, chat. Can't stay long today. It's all good, bro. Enjoy Matariki. Maano watia. I got distracted by the light. Sorry, Matariki. Oh yeah, I don't know why that's doing that now. It's a different thing. All the stuff's changed. But hey, Than, thanks for your 46 months subscription.
I know, it's so cool, right?
Yeah, real dope, real dope. It's nice to see you guys. I feel like it's been a minute since we've sat down together. We were gonna do a show last week, and then I got all my dates mixed up because I was like, oh, I think.
Water sucks. It really sucks.
Jesus, I think we were like, oh, we'll do a show this week, and then there's a break, and then we do the show, then there's a break. So I got everything all mixed up. Cheers to you, Stein. Quick ahoy from everyone from Disc Golf. Hello, everyone at Disc Golf. Hope you're having a mean time.
Nice.
So yeah, we got a lot to talk about this week, and I think like for the next
the next month, let's say 5 weeks at a guess. It's probably more like 6. So for the next 7 weeks, we've got heaps to talk about. Bob the Builder, 47-month streak. 47 months of watching Thang get more grey by week.
I would like to argue that, but I can't. So
He either turned back the clock this week or he got like way more gray hairs as a result. It's one of the two. I'm not sure which one though.
a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I wasn't going to say anything, but it does look like you've been lapping at the milk bowl. If, you know, if that's probably the best way to describe what's going on with your facial hair. But how are you guys? You guys good? Everyone feeling spry? Everyone feeling good?
I mean, feeling as good as you can after 3 days of lasers in 5,000 feet of altitude with 90-degree temperatures after not playing lasers for months.
Yeah, I think some controller just fell off. How was it though? Like,
it was so good.
The body,
so much fun.
Yeah,
so much fun.
It's all. I mean, the whole thing around it is always it's nice. It's nice to see everyone. It's nice to play games just to kind of get games in, even if the games are personally disappointing, because apparently I had kind of forgotten how to play lasers. It's weird. Bar like one game. I had one game where it's like, aha, I remember how to do this. Other than that, it was a lot of mediocrity at best.
It hurts just a little bit, doesn't it? When you're like,
it hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. Let's call it for what it is. It hurts a lot when it's like, oh, okay, so this is the level that I'm at now. Okay.
Cool.
Cool. I just kind of have to accept that this is the level that I'm at now.
Yeah.
All right.
It's it is a shame. I went through a similar thing this week as well. After getting schooled by some of the newer players, which is it's always bittersweet because you're like, oh, cool, the newer players are getting to a level where they can actually play this game, which is awesome.
Yep.
And at the same time, like, I have definitely gotten worse as I've gotten older, which is bullshit. How'd your body hold up, DK?
I would say much better this week than the last trip that I took back in, what was that, like March, I guess, something like that.
Yeah.
Felt fine overall, like didn't have problems with my feet after I had my little mishap running the other week. My legs were feeling good. No major, I mean, I've ended up with all sorts of mysterious and not so mysterious bruises, as I always do every time I go play lasers all over the place, including especially I get the Loveland half wall bruise right there from leaning over around big box all the time. So there's that one. But overall felt pretty good. Honestly, the most severe injury I had was not caused by anything laser tag related, but because I forgot to like trim my toenails, and one of my toenails was like jamming into the skin of my other toe on like day 3, and it was pretty bad. But other than that, like overall felt pretty good. Still a little more refining, I think, that I want to do. I'll try to dial up how much cardio and longevity training I'm doing before the tournament, assuming I'm able to go outside, because our state is about to be on fire, more or less.
Again.
Yeah, I mean, and this, I just mean in terms of temperatures. Like, we're not having a wildfire problem, fortunately, because that really would keep me indoors. But yeah, I'm going to have to go out pretty early if I want to avoid it being like, I don't know, in Celsius, probably like 41, 42 is the high we're getting close to here.
Yuck.
that is some bullshit. Yeah. Whereas up here today, it's a comfortable, like, it's like 25-ish.
Delightful.
Yeah.
You can fuck yourself.
Hey, you chose to move away from here. You could move back. I'm just throwing that out there.
Thought I was being smart going back to lasers, and now Than's the one who lives 15 minutes from lasers, and I have nothing.
Yeah, but he can't go there anymore.
I mean, I can. It's just I just don't want to.
Yeah,
well,
philosophically.
He can because Than tattled to the principal while we were in Loveland, so now Beavertons can get a talking to.
Oh, I would very much like to hear that story.
I mean, there's not much to tell. Jeff, who's the Loveland owner and main distributor for Laser Force in the U.S., happened to be there for some of the time that we were, so it was good to be able to talk to him and catch up. And I just told him what had happened to me the last time that I went to the one close to me in April.
Yeah.
And just it's like, yeah, I mean, they've got this great system, this great arena, but how they run it just in general is a little eh. And he was like, well, I have to be down there because apparently they're opening up a larger facility down in Salem, which is like an hour south of me. So he's got to be. So he's like, yeah, I'll have a chat to him about stuff and just kind of see why they run the things the way they do. I mean, I know why. It's because the tag for them is not a primary thing. It's something extra as opposed to this is our main attraction.
What a knock.
You lack discipline.
I mean, I never understand that because like it could be a major thing. Like you spend all that money to put it in just as a value add. Like surely once it's in, then just like I don't know, print money or whatever. Don't really have any other whatever.
Laser cash go.
Good in theory, but I mean,
it takes effort, right?
It does take effort, and that's the part that doesn't go so well apparently is the putting.
How much effort does it take? You press a couple of buttons. You have to turn the pack around on the hopeless kids who don't know what way stuff's supposed to go on. You pick a couple of guns off the ground because the public's always dropping them and clip them back, and you're ready for the next game.
Yeah,
it's fine. We've all been there.
Simples.
Yeah.
Lazy. It's bloody. It's lazy is what it is. Lazy Haze is what it is. Well, I'm glad you got to tell the principal on them. That's so funny.
It was pretty funny, yeah. But no, it's like it was a really good trip. It's always nice to get into an arena and get some decent games in. It's always nice to see people in person that I haven't seen for ages. It was really fucking great actually getting some games with DK again, including my one actual good game for the week was us paired as 3 hits, which is not something that has happened too much in the recent past. So yeah, it was just a lot of good times, and a lot of people just all there in the same sort of spirit of we just want to play some games and see people and play some more games.
So
I held them down so Than could missile them.
Why are you missiling yourself? That sort of shit. I did have a question because I watched probably more than I was intending to because I was working on some stuff in the background which I'll get to. Where was I going with that?
I don't know. Where were you going with that, Steve-O?
Oh my god!
You were probably watching some of the games.
Yeah, I was watching.
And did you notice?
I was going to ask you. Okay. I was going to ask you. So, were there any games where any of the Nats teams got to actually play each other? Like,
no full teams. There was no full team practice. We had a couple games that were more or less like as close to team instructions as we could get. Our team played a couple of games. One on day 1, one on day 2.
Mm-hmm.
Day 2, we played against most of the Loveland B team, but it still wasn't complete. So we got a little bit in. I actually got to play with 5 out of 6 of the Loveland A people, so they could match against the Utah contingent, but it was a mixture of both the Cedar City and St. George teams. So it wasn't really like proper practices, but there was a little bit of that. But I was actually surprised how little there was, given that the tournament is 5 weeks away. But it's just nobody really had their full team there.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say, was it just a case of there was no full traveling teams there?
No full traveling teams, because our team had 4 out of 6. The other California team, for most of the week, really only had 3 out of 6. And even once Poopies showed up, it was unfortunately on day 3, I had to take Odin back to the Airbnb because it was not feeling good at all. They didn't really get a practice.
Can't blame me this time.
But that was about it as far as they get. Maybe St. George had 4 out of the 6 or so they had. I think, but there was a smaller contingent of each team. So no full traveling teams were there.
That's a shame.
I don't know that even the 2 Loveland teams had all 6 players there at the same time either day. So.
Strange. I don't know. I would think that even especially for the B team, it'd be a good opportunity to try and get some reps in against
other temes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a shame, but it's not the end of the world. Heard you talking in the arena. Yeah, I didn't intend for that to happen. That just was a happy little accident, which is really funny because I was going to, prior to that, like I said, I've been working on stuff behind the scenes. Prior to that happening, I was going to do some practice commentating over some of those games. And I'd imagine that it would have been interesting to all of a sudden hear my voice over the loudspeaker, or the medic's only got 3 lives left. Some shit like that. Drop! Yeah, if they drop now, the other team are in trouble. Yeah. So yeah, I was like, whoops. Yeah, but or I don't know, swearing as I have been at the program that I'm trying to use for Nats, because it has been frustrating at times. But again, we'll circle back to that. Yeah, okay. So I thought going in, this was going to be more of a practice, team practices rather than just getting some individual reps in. But it seemed that the games were more light, it's definitely more casual than a training session. Is that kind of accurate? Or
I would say so. Overall, there were some intense games that were played, but we also had a fairly good slate of newer players who were there, including 2 fairly new players from Southern California, another Utah player who had not played outside of St. George. Some of the newer Loveland people came by. So a little bit of it is the function of just, it was also kind of a training session for newer players as well, which is perfectly good.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was a nice mix. There were definitely, when we had the right personnel, the games did get really good, really intense. As so often happens, the matchmaker shit the bed a few times, but
yeah,
that just kind of happens.
Yeah.
And there were definitely a few games where, on paper, the people going, the 12 people going in, it's like, okay, yeah, this should be okay. And
it's a good mix.
And then how the randomizer actually broke the teams and then broke the positions, you just kind of looked at it and went, how?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
But it's really hard. It's really hard to get enough games for everybody when you have a crowd that large, and B, the Loveland people very nicely making space for us and giving most of the priority for the games to the traveling players.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just, trying to cycle all those things in and to try to sit there and manually break teams. Tucker was helping to do that. I was doing a little bit. We got a few other players in the collaboration, but then things happen. Somebody doesn't show up for the game. You have to try to swap somebody else in. Somebody's like, hey, I just sat 3 games in a row. Can I play the next one? And you start filling things around. And it's like, fuck, it's too many variables. And sometimes it's just, okay, let's get 12 people in and get it going. So at least you can get games in.
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad per se, because sometimes the randomizer is really cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus we were also, playing around general public games as well. And so there was also at times just a thing of, okay, we have to be as quick as possible with the game start. And even if the randomizer gets it wrong, it's quick. And sometimes, sometimes that is, the thing that you have to go with, where it's like, oh, we have to start this game literally within the next 60 seconds to keep everything else on time. Yeah, you get 12 people, cart them in, random the things. Yeah, it's just one of those things that sometimes you just have to bow to expediency.
Yeah.
It was still good though. Like even even though full teams or the the full amount of people for a team weren't always getting games together, it was still nice because there were still partials of getting games together. Like I got a decent amount of games with both Nolan and Kodama, which is great because I very, very seldom ever have played on teams with them, even in random stuff before.
Yeah.
And so, even just getting games that, have a slightly out of position or whatever, just getting used to the play styles and the talking and figuring out just vibe and flow, as it were. Like, there was still a lot of really good value in that, at least for me.
Yeah.
In that,
I agree with that
regard.
I think if you can, you've got to look at it, especially with that many people, as like a quantity versus quality trade-off, right? Like, are we gonna get as much value putting more games through than we would, playing one or two less, but like balancing them better or whatever? I think at an event like that, I think the randomizer is probably the way to go, because you could just cycle through, and if there's elims, so be it. Chuck the next one in, randomize, where you go again. You just
and based on looking at the stats site, like, we got like 53 games in over the course of 3 days.
That's half a nets, right?
And it was a mix
Basically,
of it was a mix of 10s and 15s.
Mm-hmm.
We had to do 10s at times with the cycling in with the Gen Pub games. But the reality is, like, so we were only basically playing roughly half the time that we could because of having to cycle. Maybe 60% of the time we could, because there wasn't always Gen Pub, but you get the idea. So the fact that as a collective, we still got over 50 games in across all the people. It's not a bad result for 3 days. It was definitely was worth the trip.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, and especially with us only getting charged $50 a person for that.
Oh wow!
You figure we got over 50 games, so that like averages out to like $1 per person per game, basically.
Yeah.
Obviously, not everybody played all 50 games, but I'm pretty sure I still played in at least probably 30 of those. So just from that value standpoint, definitely worth it. I mean, you do have to consider, can you afford the plane ticket, the hotel costs, splitting a rental car, any of that kind of stuff, which didn't end up being too bad on this trip. But even if that's another $400 or $500 right there, just the social aspect and seeing people, is that all worth it? Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
It was 100% worth the price I paid, just for a few nice days to see people and to really have that sense of community with people, because that is a really important thing, I think. And at least for me, like, I do have other communities that have spun off of different things. I have family, I have relationships, but in terms of like what is like the big community I belong to, laser tag is like the main one.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't have a lot of professional contact with my colleagues through work or stuff like that anymore. I don't care about reuniting with people from high school, things like that. But the lasers community has been the longest running thing, other than like my parents in my life. So maintaining that kind of relationship is really important. And even though people have cycled in and out, just like the community feel as a whole, it was just so nice to see everybody, and I
Mm.
want to be grateful just for that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget that kind of thing.
Well, I feel like the one the one thing that COVID has taught us is that we can't take the getting together for granted.
Yeah.
Because we had so long not being able to get together.
Yeah.
It's like obviously, getting together virtually is great. Like, I love that we do this every 1 to 2 weeks, depending upon how our schedules are. Yeah, weekly-ish.
Yeah.
And
we do when we feel like it.
Yeah.
So this. I mean, this is cool. I get to talk to two of my best friends about lasers.
Yeah,
this is great. But I think I said this to Luke while I was there. So basically, as much as I pretend that I hate you all, and sometimes I do, I do actually enjoy when we're all together. I do enjoy that there's still, after all these fucking years, there's so many of us that still want to do this, and there's new people that want to do this. So yeah, from the community aspect, it's important.
And when people talk about, again, we've been over this on the show, but tamping down on like the scene is dying rhetoric, like the scene is changing.
Yeah,
I'm not going to deny the scene is changing, but we do so many. If the scene were dying, we wouldn't be doing stuff like this 3-4 times a year, which before COVID we didn't.
Yeah,
like when the scene was quote unquote strong, when we had 9-10 teams at Nats every year, maybe there was a regional tournament, like one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast during the year, but we didn't have people traveling to sites multiple times a year, just basically for social games and to get some reps in and to socialize and do those kinds of things. So the scene is strong in some ways. It is transitioning to, maybe we just aren't going to have the same level of like unique site-based teams at tournaments. Like, we might end up doing more stuff like more random draws, more duos or triple threats, those kinds of things. But those are still really fun, competitive experiences. Like even duos, which was brand new last year, like I still got into full tournament intensity every single game I played because I still wanted to win that event. I'm like, whatever you're going to do. And that's just a different atmosphere than a social night. So the scene might be transitioning in some ways, but I really don't think that the scene is dying. It's moving into a different kind of community feel, but the community is still there, and I really want people to remember that this community exists and that it's special, and you can't get it anywhere else really. Even though we live in lots of different places, get together once in a while, and it's like you just pick up where you left off.
I think after the trip last year, people are craving that feeling from each other, which is understandable because whenever we get together, it's one of my favorite things. Which is why I think the big reason why we played this game for so long is that feeling, that community feeling. Because every time we turn up to a Nats or after after COVID, when I came over to Colorado, and like us three were finally in the same place after years and years. It was just so pleasant. So I'm really stoked anytime any of these events happen and people make the effort to turn up to them. It's great. It would be cool. It would have been cool to see more of a turnout for nationals this year from Australasia. But I think with the two major scenes being ours and Brisbane, major / only, going through such periods of change or flux, it's probably a hard ass to have it happen. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's a shame that your group of new players didn't hit like 6 months earlier.
Well, yeah. because like I mean, so two of them in the chat, Farang and Ensk, like two of our new local players, and like I said before, I can't remember if we had started the pod yet, but like having newer players like those two put me in my place is both exciting and humbling. So also I did resup one of their nukes.
good job, well done.
Yeah. I thought it was force, but never mind. Maybe I resupped 2 nukes.
It's possible. I mean, you are terrible.
They did deserve it.
Well, the whole the whole thing about like seeing seeing players like that you saw at the beginning of their laser journey, or close to the beginning of their laser journey, and then watching them develop over a period of time. I mean, it's definitely getting like that when we do these social nights, extended nights, whatever, because there are players that started 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, that at the time that they started, it was just like they could get turned inside out by just about anybody, and it was it just wasn't necessarily good, but they kept at it, and now it's like, oh, you're turning me inside out because you've gotten so much better. It's fucking, I mean, as you say, it's humbling, but it's fucking great to see.
Yeah,
it's that first moment, or that first game, when somebody that you remember like starting out turns you inside out. Yeah, humbling, but very cool at the same time.
Yeah, it's mixed.
Yeah, barring maybe Thunder, that was like my experience with my entire Nats team from last year. Is I was like, I remember when I used to be able to beat you guys up real bad, and now it's like I can still hang, but it's a lot good the other way.
Now
They're beating me up a lot more, and I'm beating them up.
Oh, can I?
I have my moments.
Can I come hang out with you guys?
Yeah. You can't beat them, join them. Train them and join them.
Don't run into the resupply. See, that's wise words from a new player. That's great. That's great news. Click on Brisbane are just cooking for 2025. Yeah, we're hoping, and I know that there is talk of especially in Auckland locally, of how many teams we're going to send there and who wants to go. We've got a golden oldies kind of team lined up for that year. So the Auckland A team will probably not consist of me and whomever else, but I think pretty much everyone else who are currently playing at Auckland was probably gonna be keen to go over. So we'll see. We might have 2, could have 3, probably just 2.
Just 2.
2 and change. Yeah.
2's still pretty cool. Like, to get 2 teams from one site travel for a tournament, that's a good thing. That's a cool thing. It doesn't happen all the time.
Can I offer to house people? It's only a several day drive to Brisbane from your place. That's what energy drinks are for. Yeah, I mean, Troy, that's awesome. That's sweet. That'd be sweet.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Something's gotta be done about your resupply. Bez wants to start assembling. Good. Yeah. So with with the play, like it was funny because I was talking to Stats God Maniac, because obviously he was there, which was awesome to see. I watched a game. I was watching a game where he was either playing Commander or Scout, and he just absolutely schooled everyone, and it was awesome. I was like, let's go, old man, way to represent. But he was saying, like, dude, because I don't think he'd seen many players for like when's the last time he played a thing? Like,
he wasn't the duos last year.
He was. Okay.
So I picked him up from the airport, because his flight got in many hours before mine, and then it's like, okay, we were staying at the same hotel. It's like, great, cool. We'll drive together. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I step off the plane, see him, walk over to him, and it's like, hey, asshole, it's been like 4 years since I've seen you. And he went, that's not right. I'm like, 2020, asshole.
What?
And
He was like, why do you keep calling me asshole?
because and he literally he stopped like dead because we were walking. He stopped and he's like, oh shit, it has been 4 years.
Wow.
Because the last time he and I had seen each other in person was 2020 in Syracuse at East Coast, which was right before the world ended.
Wow.
And so
I remember having a lot of regrets I didn't go to that event.
Yeah.
Because of what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, you know, just one of those like, just one of those moments of, yeah, you can't take for granted, you know, when these events happen, because you never know when, you know, there's going to be a worldwide pandemic that keeps you from having the next one.
Yeah.
Or sites close, all kinds of just random life events and shit that happens. But yeah, the game is great, but if it wasn't for the sense of community that it gives to all of us, I don't know that we would have kept it up for 25 plus years in the case of most of the people here. And getting close to that for you too, Steve. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 27 and a bit now for me and DK, which one of us made some comment about that when, you know, in Loveland this week, and somebody else piped up like, wait a minute, that's longer than most of us have been alive. And like,
No, it was worse than that. It was like oh yeah, that player, they're like a third of your age, and I said, you need to shut your fucking mouth right now. I will play against people half my age, but a third of my age, that's getting a little fucking dicey here.
And it was almost a quarter of the age, which made it even worse. So
that's at the age realm of like you could be their father. I was gonna say daddy, but father's probably more appropriate.
Father's 100% more appropriate.
I mean, you could be their daddy.
No.
No.
Nope.
No.
I am your father.
Daddy DK. Yeah, I mean, it's such a eye-opening thing whenever that happens, and it happens far more frequently these days. Yeah. Ugh.
Well, that you know, unfortunately, time is linear, and we all keep moving further down the track on it.
I mean, that's why it's like it feels so much more important for us these days, specifically us, and you know, the older crowd that are still playing, because we don't know how many of these things we have left. I mean, you never know how many you got left, but you know, we're one step from the grave, boys.
Well, it's more that what Than was saying earlier, that in terms of you still have a lot of the good instincts, but you're not at the level that you want for yourself. Like, you hold yourself to high standards of how you want to play.
Yep.
And I was having this talk also, I think, with Kodama. I think it was after like day 2 when we were looking at stats. I was like 4th overall for the night. How the hell did that happen? And it was like, DK, I don't know how to tell you this. You're not terrible at the game. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, I know intuitively, like, the stats say that I'm still a perfectly good player, but I'm like, I should be crushing these guys. I should be dominating these guys. Like, I want to just be at the tip top. But I'm like, it's not even that I've lost a whole bunch, but it's just that other people have gained more. And that's how it should be. The next generation needs to take over. And even if I can do some of the things I did when I was younger, the recovery process is a little different than it was then.
So I had the same thing on Tuesday. So we played obviously this week, and everything felt slow. Like my mind like knows what to do and knows what it wants to do, but the reactions and like even like just a lot in the past, like one-on-one like trade-offs, I'll probably win. Not the case anymore. Which, you know,
welcome to my world.
Yeah. Fuck.
But as I also discussed with Kodama, that is not necessarily the most important thing. In fact, that's probably not even in the top 5 things, is just being quickest on the shot. Like, that's great, all things being equal, but there's a ton of other stuff.
Yeah, it's what you do in the middle.
Like, the craftsman elements of the game where you just have to learn a lot of those, I guess, soft skills, you might call them, because they're not just purely down to the mechanics of how you play, are super important. And those are things that are sometimes difficult to articulate, and they're very difficult to capture on things like stats. So that's why, again, I think the stats are very useful, but of course they're not the be all end all. There's a lot of other factors that go into thinking about how you evaluate a player.
Yeah, Gray, that's exactly right. Spirit is willing, the flesh is spongy and bruised.
Yeah, I think I got in like 25 or 26 games in total, and like of those 26 games, there's one that I'm very happy with. There's probably another 4 or 5 that I'm like, yeah, okay, those were acceptably good games. And then there were like a couple at the very bottom where it's like, what even is laser tag?
It's when you find yourself like in a moment in the game where you're at like you're at like a door, or like at a area where you know that there's stuff happening in multiple directions, and you go through a run in a game where every decision you make is the wrong one. Like you pop left out of a corner instead of right and you get pinged in the back, or like sometimes it feels like those things are happening more now than they used to.
Yep.
It's a senior moment.
Yeah.
I had one game at Heavy where like the overall team matchup wasn't bad, but something happened early, and I got resupplied when I was gonna put down a 3-hit that was in the middle of everything again, who was down, and I got resupplied to get used as a reset to put the person down, and my brain just shut off. Like literally, like I didn't make a good decision after that moment because I was so just like, what do
flummoxed.
You mean? Yeah, I was like, what do you mean you just resupplied me to put him down when he was down, and I was going to be able to get a missile on that?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
And yeah, it just went downhill. Literally one of those games where the game got done, or I died before the game was done.
Yeah.
And I put my suit up, and I walked outside and just sat outside for like 15 minutes. It's like, okay, that happened. That was terrible. Let's try and calm down a little bit before we go back inside.
You're certainly not the only one who had a moment like that during the week. And frankly, like just going outside and sitting now is probably better than how I coped with my low moment of the week that came on day 3, where I had a commander game where just like nothing was going right, and I'm definitely embarrassed by how much I lost my cool, and I slapped a wall, which is not good. It was flat palm, but still, you don't do that. You don't hit the arena. The arena didn't do anything to you. It's your own stupid fault.
Are you sure the arena didn't do anything to you?
It did not. I mean, a lot of other people did things to me, but
are you sure the arena didn't like shift its walls to like change angles on you, and that's why you were getting fucked over?
You know what? That's how it is. It's like
it's a living
reasons
arena.
Why you got shot. 1% people are better than me. 99% fucking bullshit.
You wait till like yeah, sorry too. I hit a button. That like when you do like what I like to describe as the fat boy karate kick. When you do that out of frustration, and then you think about it later, and you're like, oh, that's embarrassing. I did one of those. That was cool. I did the fat boy karate kick.
Yep.
Yeah, just silly. Just dumb shit.
I apologize everybody for that. And it's not to excuse it, but like day 3, I could tell that there was definitely some fatigue that was happening. And I think it was after that I realized that I'm really sleep deprived. I need to drink some more water and just kind of cool down. So sat out a couple of games. But yeah, just kind of got 2 in my head, and some of that frustration of like, I'm supposed to be dominating people and I'm not. But
yeah.
It's like you can't carry by yourself. And it was another one of those games where you look at it afterward and you look at what the matchmaker was, and like, yeah, we probably were supposed to lose that game regardless.
Right.
Doesn't mean I'm not going to try, but I probably didn't need to get as deep in my own head as I did just because things went wrong. But it was because like also, so all right, we're going to get into a slight rant here. So I think I played 4 commander games. during the week. I had a nuke canceled in 3 out of 4 of those games, and 2 of them were from nuke over nukes. So I was talking to Stats Man Russ right here. I was like, I feel like this happens to me like more often than anyone, which I'm sure everybody feels that way. It's like, oh yeah, I always get nuke over nuke. It's like, can we actually get data on that? Russ is like, I think I might be able to look that up. Maybe I'll be able to do a query on that. Unfortunately, it was not really possible to sort by that kind of data in terms of nukes canceled by nukes. So I'm afraid I'm just going to have to rely on my own confirmation bias and continue my assertion that I am the subject of a vast nuke over nuke conspiracy that is designed to fuck with me and only me, and is fucking bullshit.
On the thought process of stats that can be queried, and I'm not ready to transition just yet to the next part, but whilst I'm thinking about it, if you have a list of stuff over nats that you think would be really cool to show, please let me know. And that goes to chat as well. If you think of like stats that are possible to find on the stats website, yeah, we can try and have a look at implementing some of that stuff.
Or even stats that aren't on the stats website. Just because something isn't displayed doesn't mean it's not possible to get the information.
Yeah. You wrote some squirrel this week? Fuck yeah.
Some SQL. Nice job.
Oh, SQL.
SQL. Yeah.
I prefer squirrel. I wrote some squirrel.
I wrote the squirrel.
DK, I can't remember. Did you get a nuke canceled in the game where we were 3 hits together?
It's possible to track who shoots who.
I wasn't. Let's see. Yeah, I did. That was the one where I got a nuke over nuke.
Oh, that's right.
Because I actually had 2 in the pocket when I dropped that one, but then I got nuke over nuke.
That's right.
I had to save the other one because I was like, I feel so snake that let me make sure the other person doesn't have 2 before I drop it and get another one canceled. So I was like terrified. But the only reason I held for 2 anyways because we had pretty good field control that game. So had I just nuked when I got it the first time, it would have been ages earlier and it would have been fine. But I wanted to make sure that like you were in a good position to take advantage of it.
You should talk to Morange about getting nukes cancelled because I'm sure he'd love to discuss that with you. And I'm sure he's sick of me cyberbullying him about it too. So, whatever. And he's not here, so I can talk shit all I want.
Yeah.
You want to see?
Yeah. The other one in the game where I just felt like nothing was going right. I had actually talked to Disco after the end because I thought I was like pulled all the way back into a corner and I got some reflex shot bullshit. But then I remembered that no, it wasn't. That he said, "Oh no, I just saw the very like front of your gun sticking out from behind the wall." And then I remembered, and I got even madder because the button wasn't working because I was like crouched low and pulled it back. The button on the side wasn't working, so I went to use the touch screen and I moved the gun a little bit forward, and then it like went past the wall.
Oh,
and he managed to cancel the nuke. And so I was like, "Oh my god."
That's such an old guy thing.
I was on like 1 life too. I'm just like, why isn't the button working? It worked earlier in the game. Why doesn't the button work now? What's wrong with this thing?
How does the dang thing work?
Because I just set a trail like through the entire 3rd floor, down one of the ramps, just sprinted around one of the corners, and was trying to get this nuke off desperately. I'm like, come on, I can always drop this nuke before I die.
I need to make the text on this gun bigger.
Why is the button working? Come on. Oh no, I got shot.
That's so funny. Any obvious highlights of the couple of days or things of note?
I mean, my aforementioned, one really good heavy game when DK was my commander, where off the break, the other heavy put me down, but because he was looking at me, DK put him down, and then suddenly I was just crushing their entire team and proceeded to continue to crush their entire team for pretty much the entirety of the game.
Nice.
After that, again, it was like the one time that I felt like, oh yeah, I actually remember how to play this game. 8 meta kits, of which 1 was a missile, so technically two was a missile. I was like, yes, I remember how to play this game.
King Kong up in this bitch.
Yeah, but no, I mean, just kind of the general overall vibe was so good that I really think that was the highlight for me. Like I can even even if I wasn't personally happy with so many of my games, because I wasn't, um, the fact that again we had so many people travel to do the thing, we got so many games in, and there were I don't really remember any like generalized negativity around the place. Like
Nah, it was usually
over
like one person at a time just beating themselves up.
yeah, like over and above the standard, oh, I had a bad game, fish shaking, I should be doing better, that would kind of cycle between players. Like but that's a normal thing that you expect, because
Happens.
everybody
It
always
happens.
thinks that they should be able to do something more than what they did if a game goes pear-shaped. But yeah, aside from that kind of normalcy, there was not. Yeah, I just don't remember there being any sort of additional dumb negativity, which that in and of itself is kind of unusual, because there's usually something that happens that kind of casts a little bit of a malaise across things for a period of time, and how long that period of time is dependent upon the thing that happened. But yeah, just such a really great few days.
I hope that that sentiment carries across to Nats. I really do, because obviously,
ideal.
It can be a little, because usually at Nats there's that step up, right, to the next level of competition. So hopefully, hopefully with that step up, it doesn't bring too much of that that negativity in. Like there's aggression usually brings with it negativity. So yeah, hopefully it's not too much of a increase in that, but
I think it can be managed. But just from my observation, then, if you don't mind me saying so, like just seeing the shift in like how I felt, you seemed a lot more relaxed toward the end of the trip versus like when I saw you at the airport, and like when you walked into Lasers on day 1 and 2. There was a noticeable shift by like day 3. Your body language was a lot looser. You're smiling a lot more. Just overall feeling good. So it seemed like you were in a much better state of mind toward the end of the trip. So I think it probably was good for you, and I'm sure it was good for me as well, just as kind of a little bit of a reset.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that? Nope.
No.
Sweet. I was gonna start talking. I was like, "Wait, you're not talking about me."
Oh, he got me on that one.
That's good though. Like, would you like a chance to rebuttal? Yeah, that's pretty sweet. It did seem. So I've been behind the scenes building stuff for Nats, and I'm in an iron about what I kind of want to show or put out in the public before Nats. I have shared some stuff on other streams. I shared some stuff on Thursday, just quick kind of Wednesday, a quick kind of look at the system that I've been using to build stuff. But essentially what's going to happen for nationals this year, or internationals this year, which Laser Force Internationals Loveland, Colorado 2024 starts August the 4th for you guys? 5th. So does that mean it's the 6th?
Oh, there it is. There it is on the screen.
Must be Tuesday for
I guess
me.
it would be. I guess it would be, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably not so
First,
bad.
I was like, what the hell is he pointing at?
Yeah, that thing.
Oh, right. Have to look at the Twitch feed.
we're running things a little different this year. In terms of, I don't think we've talked about it yet on the pod. So,
not yet. No.
This will be the first time that we've done the stream not from site, which will be a good kind of learning experience. So the plan is that I'm going to be hosting the stream this year, and it'll be over on the Laser Force tournaments page. I think if you, I don't even know if I've got a shortcut for it, but go check out Laser Force Tournament on Twitch. And in fact, if you don't already follow, you should give them a follow, because they are running events at the moment. I think there was one either today or yesterday. With
Armageddon started today, so
right.
And they had some Space Marines on there. So if you're not already following that channel, go give it a follow. I'm trying to find the bloody thing, but I can't find it. Laser Force Tournament. I'm pretty sure that's it. That's the one. Thanks to it's tournament singular, which come on, Beans. Chop to.
Well, we didn't know that we were gonna do this more than once. Probably when we got the URL, it's like we're gonna try to stream this laser tag tournament, and then what's gonna happen after that?
Yeah.
Well,
plural seems presumptuous.
Yeah, but that is actually changeable. So I may need to bug Beans to either give me admin access into this channel or something, or just tell him where to go change it.
I might change it. He's gonna give me access to the channel after getting, so I'll change it in there.
Okay. Yeah,
Hack the planet.
Yeah, let's just add the S and have done with it.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
And then an underscore just to fuck with no.
No.
So yeah, go give it a follow. I'll be hosting internationals this year from New Zealand, live via satellite. It's gonna be interesting. I'm really excited about it, and also really nervous, because there is a lot of work going in behind the scenes to make this awesome. And I want to give a real special shout out to Mischief from Loveland, because Mischief is currently putting out a bunch of player interviews on his YouTube channel, and they are awesome. They're like little bite-sized get to know you player interviews, and they look amazing. They're just really, really cool. So he's doing a lot of work into a lot of the media stuff, player profiles. There'll be maze kind of videos showing the maze and kind of the spots where where resupply points are and all that kind of stuff. So very special shout out to Mischief for all the work that he's doing, because it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, he did a lot of interviews while we were there as well.
Yeah,
I got to be interviewed too.
I think he captured everyone but bar one person, and that was just because they were like, no thank you. So
it was fun, kind of fun watching him like go around and like corral people, like, hey, you ready to do an interview now? It's like, yep, cool, sweet.
Sure, get me while I'm all sweaty after a game. Why not? That's when I always look my best.
Yeah, but like he and I also spent a decent amount of time like walking around the arena, like, okay, where can cameras go that's going to make the most sense, and how many cameras do we think we can actually do given the actual internet connection at Lasers, because we have to make sure that we don't completely saturate their upload, because all of their arcade machines also are running on on the same network, and it's
why do arcade games need to be connected to the fucking internet?
You put in your quarter,
it's killing me.
Way you go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So the cameras that it looks like they're going to have to put in the arena are the image quality is surprisingly good. But I feel like part of the reason why the image quality is surprisingly good is Loveland's arena is basically blacklight is supplementing real light.
Yeah.
As opposed to blacklight being the only source of light. So there's a little more visible spectrum for the cameras to work with. but yeah, figuring out like, okay, if we put cameras in these 4 places and let things be able to swap back and forth, it's cool.
Sorry about that, chat.
What is wrong with this man?
They just started. I brought up the Laser Force tournament Twitch page, and it was sitting open in the background, and they just started a Space Marines game. so the intro started. It was so loud it scared the shit out of me. Oh my god! Hopefully,
Good job, Steve.
This is a great preview for Nats right here. Let's give Steve more buttons and more distractions. That can only improve the product.
Oh, dude, there are so many buttons too. Like my stream deck. There's folders and pages and so many awesome things that are coming, but like, you know, because it's just me here trying to run everything, there's gonna be issues. So, you know, hopefully the final product is still good. We'll see. Fuck, that was scary.
We're on hour 43 of streaming the tournament. I really want to take a nap.
I gotta poop so much.
It is definitely like every year that we've done the stream, it's gotten a little bit better. It's gotten a little bit better. We implement things that we learned from the prior year. We steal ideas from other systems, streaming their tournaments, or creatively borrow whatever. But I like knowing the stuff that you've been working on, Steve-O, and knowing the stuff that Luke has been working on, and knowing some of the other things that are in the mix as far as creation goes. I'm very excited to see how people react to it, and it is definitely going to reset the bar for where the stream can be for a tournament going forward.
I think like I've reached out to some guest commentators so that it's not just my voice for 8 hours a day for 4 days.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get a few to come in and join me.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we enjoy listening to you talk, I don't think anybody wants to listen to you for 8 straight hours.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be there.
I just worry for Steve after 8 hours.
Yeah, and more to the point, you don't want to have to talk for 8 hours straight for that many consecutive days.
Yeah,
like, that's.
But that's going to be the case. It's just a matter of who else is also going to join me. So,
right. But if you can offload some of the
people, I would
it helps.
I would rather be the color commentator because I think play-by-play, or just like proper commentary is an art form, and really there's only 2 that I've seen so far in our scene, that being Morange and Wolfie. Both of them were excellent in Detroit, and have been excellent when they've been on the mic after that. So hope
you're right. It's so hard to do play-by-play. Like I would try it for 30 seconds in a game, but then of course I would want to talk about something that happened, and I would start giving a very professorial explanation that nobody wanted to listen to. So
hopefully with the addition of multiple cameras in the maze, for this the stream, I've had to learn a whole new broadcast system, and it's a lot more involved than what we use here for the Resupply, which is just the OBS software. It's a whole different way of creating your scenes and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully I can run some like replays. That's the next thing that I want to learn how to do is instant replay. And if I could get that working, that would be really cool. But that's a nice to, not a must have.
Right.
Let's see DK's face when he gets his nuke canceled one more time.
But there was a moment the other day when I was tinkering with streaming the cameras and stuff, and one of the cameras was up on the 3rd floor, and you were reffing right there. Yeah, you turned to me like, and I was like, so yeah, stuff like that is really cool, and the cameras that are being used, they are surprisingly awesome. we've got to work around some like delay shit, but hopefully I can figure that out as well. There was a point where somebody was using it as a follow cam, so they were actually like moving around the maze for a game and like following play as it was happening, and the footage was awesome. I was like, man, that's so impressive that it can pick up the image and broadcast it well enough that I can make out who's on the screen. Like we can actually, there's Caleb doing work, or there's Russell asleep, or whatever. Like, so yeah, there are some things that we've had to sacrifice. Like we're playing around. I mean, I've set up over here. I could show some stuff now, but I don't know. Should we show some stuff? We don't need to show some stuff.
Nah. I want to, as we get closer, we can tease some things out. But
we just built up a tiny little content cushion. We don't want to shoot our wad prematurely, as it were. It's supposed to be a dry run, and now I have something of a mess on my hands.
Oh, what a reference. So good. Yeah, so I mean there's a lot of work gone into making Nats this year better than it's ever been from a spectator perspective. Hopefully everyone will enjoy it. You can't please everyone. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, as we found out last time when we got told that they were watching the broadcast on mute, which is fine because you're watching it anyway. But yeah, jump over to give the Laser Force tournament page a follow on Twitch. That's
well, you know what they say. There's two kinds of people who like Steve and assholes.
Yeah, that's how I like to think about things as well. Well, yeah, you're right. We'll drop some more kind of as I kind of polish things up a little, then we'll start releasing some snippets of what's being created behind the scenes. But yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting, and there's some really cool stat stuff coming.
Rest assured, it looks badass.
So I was on a phone call with Maniac trying to figure out just the basic stat stuff. And I had I'd done a screen share of the stuff I was uploading, and I'm not a stats guy, but I was getting excited, and he was most definitely excited about the prospects of the kind of integration between LF stats and the stream. So stats are life. You would love it, Gray. I reckon if you got your hands on the back end, you'd get all up in there.
That was some very deliberate.
Oh yeah,
word choice there.
Yeah.
That was.
Did you show him that photo of me under the air hockey table again?
That's a Laser Force's ass. But yeah. I'm excited, and thank you to everyone for bearing with me at the at the event over the last week, because I was skirting a line between being annoying and wanting to be prepared for internet. So yeah.
No, I think the general feeling from from the Loveland boys who were helping you was definitely more in the it's not annoying. We are trying to make sure that
this is so cool.
Yeah,
I think was the general vibe.
Well, and everybody is on the same page of hey, can we not leave any of this to the last minute? I mean, there's going to be a percentage of things that are going to be last minute because they have to be. There's just how the timing of things falls out. There's always going to be a certain amount of last minute things.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can minimize the number of last minute things and the scrambling to make a thing happen, the night before the tournament, I think that just makes that's going to make everybody's life so much. Everybody's life so much nicer,
mm-hmm.
so much easier, so much less stressful. Nobody was upset.
Perfect.
Although, like Autumn said, randomly hearing your voice inside the maze was a little interesting.
I must not have been in that game. I'm sorry I missed that.
There was a few times where I was so tempted to just unmute the mic and start just being a clown, but I was like, no, don't do that. That's
not
irresponsible use of your power. It was multiple games, was it? Oh, I thought it was just the one. My bad.
No, I think it was like 2, and it was.
Shit.
But it was just like as you were, testing things. So whatever. Point
Either
being,
I missed it or I wasn't in those games.
You weren't, dude.
Yeah.
Neither of us
sorry.
were.
Well, the one. I'm sorry. I was like that was definitely an accident because there was, like you said, the intrusive thoughts didn't win. I was real close to being like just unmute, just to be like, haha, this would be really fun. No, it's shut up, Steve. you don't always have to be fucking talking. Yeah. So yeah, I tried to make sure that didn't happen. And it's good. It's actually a really good thing that it did happen when it did, because now I know that's a thing that could happen, and we'll try and make sure that it doesn't happen at Nats. Because, yeah, like I said, the last thing you want to do is be like, oh, the green medic's only on 1 life, and then they're like, oh, fucking do a nuke.
Getting all the weird kinks worked out to start with. I mean, there's always going to be something that comes up that we didn't consider. I know I made this comment to I think both Caleb and Luke at different points, that something is going to happen on day 1 that is that all of us are going to look at and go, that is so obvious. How come none of us thought about that particular obvious possibility of things going wrong? Because that's just the way everything goes.
Yeah.
There's always something obvious that gets overlooked, no matter how much you think you've dialed everything in. But the other reality is that we've got a lot of very motivated and passionate people working on all the stream stuff.
100%.
And because of that, like, everybody is so psyched to make it the best possible thing that it can be, that I'm so excited for when we do actually start the broadcast and people see kind of the full extent of the work that's been done. Like, I'm very excited to see people's reactions to it. I mean, just obviously I'm not doing anything for it except providing a certain amount of space in Google Drive for files and whatnot. But
still helpful.
That ain't nothing.
Yeah, but being able to see everything kind of as it's being created is just like, oh fuck, this is so cool. This is so fucking cool.
Yeah. Autumn said, "Nah, you didn't say anything helpful." That's actually in my personal bio. Yeah, it's
Doesn't say anything useful.
There's like a feature of the program is that depending, like, if I switch to a scene, like a video, or like, because the idea is that we're gonna have like, like sponsor ads and all that sort of shit, but like, you don't want the microphones on during that time. You don't want any bed music and stuff. And so because it's, again, just me running the show, you can automate that stuff when you switch to certain scenes. It auto fades and so I have a feeling that one of those will be incorrect, or I'll mess something up and like I'll leave a mic on or something. And what you never want to happen is have a hot mic and start talking shit. That's one of the worst things. Or leave it on and you go take a shit and people can hear you poop or whatever. These
talking
things.
Shit or taking shit, either way.
Either way, if it involves
please
poop.
Please don't do either of those.
Yeah, that's right. Real quick housekeeping. We are 3 follows away from 800 follows on the Resupply podcast or the Resupply channel.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
We are rounding the corner at 800 on that home stretch to 1,000, which is kind of awesome. So if you haven't already, you tell your 3 friends, and then they tell their 3 friends, and so on and so on. That's how this pyramid works. Okay, so if you haven't already done it, get your 3 friends involved. I appreciate it. I've already got my 2 friends involved.
We're on the show.
Yeah. Well, it's why the cameras are shaped like this. Yeah.
Okay, so me and DK are the base of the pyramid that's supporting you. Got
yeah,
it. Okay.
I'm at triple diamond level. Okay, and then you guys are double diamond, and then the upside down funnel. Exactly right. We don't use pyramid.
Cool. Yeah, definitely the people underneath Madoff, they definitely didn't get indicted either. So I think we're in the clear.
Exactly right. Get in early, folks. Get in on the ground floor. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff coming, and I'm real excited about getting an opportunity to kind of show everyone as it happens. And as is always the case with me, when I get excited about a thing, I kind of want to show everyone everything. So trying to
Hold
stop.
back.
Yeah. I may have already shared a little bit too much, but who cares? It happens. It's a fairly trapezium functional collaboration. Word. I'm glad you guys had a great time as well. It sounded like a really cool few days with really great vibes and great laser tag being played. It looked like it was a really fun trip.
For sure. And before I forget, and because I'm sure we're coming to the end here, but just wanted to say thanks to everybody who was involved in organizing and hosting us. Thanks to Jeff for agreeing to let us come out and to give us every other game during business hours. That's really generous.
Pretty
and
awesome.
It was great of him, to offer that to us for $50. And Fan and I both got to see him and say hi. So that was a nice little reunion and just to hang out for a bit. So then I could tattle to the principal, like I said. And then obviously to John, Gabe, Daniel, the other employees and managers who stayed late for us the first couple of days. And then when we were potentially going to run short on time the 3rd day because they had to have a tech come in that night to do some stuff with the vest because they have a big event coming up next week. But we managed to get actually on day 3 when we didn't play as long into the day, but we got to start a little bit earlier and we got to actually play more 15-minute games than we had on previous days. So even though we had quote unquote shorter hours, we actually played even more games on the 3rd day. So that was great for them to do that. And of course to Tucker for really getting a lot of the stuff organized, for getting people down there, for splitting games, for getting people in and out. That took a lot of work. And thanks to people, especially Autumn and Aiden for helping to just provide the kind of social impetus and pressure to get people out there because somebody needs to get that ball rolling. And so often it's Autumn or it's Aiden or it's some combination of them.
No.
It's just
it's Autumn. It's never Aiden.
Autumn does the actual organization.
Yeah,
Aiden will be like, hey, we should play laser tag. And Autumn's like, all right, fine, I'll get on the details and actually make it happen.
Yeah, again, let's be very, very clear. We actually genuinely have Autumn to thank for pretty much every single extended members night that we have done. Like maybe this one she was a little less involved with getting the stuff organized. I think she said that directly to me.
Still, she tells me when we're going. So if I didn't know that, I wouldn't be able to go. So
exactly,
that's pretty big.
Yeah, but every other one kind of leading up to this one, she has been the driving force behind actually, reaching out to Calkins and Tucker and whatnot and actually getting the thing organized. So yeah, it's like her contributions to this cannot be understated. She has definitely been the driving force behind it. And yeah, I think it's definitely important that we recognize that we have her to thank for a lot of the things that we've been able to do in the last few years. So thanks, Autumn.
There's also
for sure
an invoice for pillowcases heading your way.
We already talked about that today.
Yeah.
Come on, Airbnb, just throw some bleach in there. Or here's a thought: don't use white pillowcases. What do you need white pillowcases for? You're just gonna get them dirty.
They weren't expecting you to blue all over them, so
It wasn't me this time. We only have like 4 people in the house with colored
Sweet
hair. So
Photoshop.
it could have been anyone. It could have been anyone.
It could have been anyone. You did pay that? Oh my god. You shouldn't have. You should have billed that dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, well, I paid about Autumn was nice enough to pay it back. She's like, I'm pretty sure it was either Aiden or Disco. So, but whatever. It wasn't that much, but still, I was like mildly annoyed. Then I'm like, oh come on, you're gonna nickel and dime me because of a fucking stained pillowcase? Give me a break.
Apparently.
Does anyone out any final notes?
I don't know. I feel like
Loveland, I don't know what you're putting in your hazer, but you should try using ingredients other than iron and copper shavings.
Yeah.
What? Explain that to me, because what happened?
So anytime that the hazer, the fog machine, is on, like it just makes the air in there. It tastes like metal. You come out of the game, I felt like I was gonna cough up a lung. Like I was having trouble filling oxygen. I thought I was gonna throw up, and it feels like your throat is bleeding.
Oh my god!
Half the time. I think it's some combination of like that with the altitude, but I only feel it in the games where it's like the hazer has gone on because there's just been a Gen Pub game in, and then we go in and play some game, and I usually end up drawing Commander, and I'm like dying.
Yeah.
By the end of it, so I have no idea what's going on.
Well, they vaporize bleach. That's how they make it. So right to the lungs.
That and if their upstairs carpet could not get slick, my ankle would very much appreciate that as well.
I'm glad you didn't get more hurt on that.
Me too.
There was a slick surface up there.
Yeah, I went to. No,
not this time.
No, it was upstairs between big box and closet, which will make sense if you've been there, and if you haven't, it won't. And I was
in one of the main thoroughfares upstairs. Let's just say that.
And I went to step through and planted, and my right foot just went right out from underneath me and ended up flat on my back, and my ankle and my knee both went like, "Are you sure about this?" And of course, I was playing Commander, which just makes it that much worse. And kind of like hobbled to my feet, and at that point, my resupply had been kicked downstairs, so I'm like kind of limping downstairs, and I ate 2 missiles while I was limping, trying to move downstairs. So that didn't feel too good, but got downstairs, found my resupply, got topped up, and ended up having a decent game in the end. But yeah, it was not a fun, like 45 seconds of like, okay, is my knee okay? I didn't hear anything pop. It's still moving okay.
Or click, or crinkle, or crack.
Yeah.
Or hiss.
Yeah, didn't do any of that, but that ended up being like my last game, because that happened on night 3, like the 3rd or 4th game from the end. I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm not going to take a chance on doing anything else.
Yeah.
with this knee.
Maybe that's a good feature for Gen 9ers. For like older players, they build in a medic alert. So like in those instances when you have a fall, then you can like request some.
We don't fall. We have a fall.
You have a fall. Yeah. I've had a fall on the 3rd floor. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, but again, like overall, great 3 days of games.
Awesome.
That last little bit, notwithstanding, and hopefully whatever had actually caused that is rectified by the time that happens, and nobody else has to worry about it. It'll be fine.
It warms my insides when I see when I get to see you guys especially really really enjoying playing laser tag again. Like I hear like stories or see you guys play games, and you're like, it's so good to be running around, so good to be playing. Like it makes me happy. So I'm glad you guys got to have a good few days, and obviously we're on the home straight till Nats, so
yep.
It's not that far away. It is not 9 weeks away.
It's not even that many weeks away.
It's like 5 weeks away. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. We are we doing a show next week?
Next week might be a little challenging, given it's the Friday after 4th of July. People might, we might be out doing other stuff.
I mean, we'll figure
I'm not
this
gonna go
out.
anywhere. It's gonna be like 112 degrees outside. Fuck that.
Okay. It might be 112 for you. It's not gonna
Put
be
in the fire
112
and
for me.
fireworks.
I don't know. We'll let you know. Maybe
Yeah.
you'll get a show. Maybe you won't. But either way, you'll like it.
You'll like it. Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted in the Discord. If you aren't already in the Discord, !Discord and chat, go hang out in there or do whatever you want. We will be streaming over the week. We played to go back to what Gray asked before. Will the three of you have a Hoon on Chain Together? If you missed the Chain Together stream that the Broforce did on Thursday, go check that VOD out, because oh my god, what a ridiculous game that is. But we'll be live during the week with some more content. If you haven't already joined Laser Force Tournament, go join that page, because they are currently playing Geddon and putting the Space Marines games up on there, so you can check those out. But for this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK with lasers.
And I've been Van.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next week, maybe. Ka kite anō.